Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Talking with PP, where I, PP, talk with you about things on my mind, current events, and generally things I just want to talk about. And I both sound very quiet and apparently really hoarse. That's really, really odd. Wasn't expecting that one. I am tired. It is late. But I wanted to upload one of these tomorrow, which means I need to render it today, which means I need to edit and record this today. If I were a smart person, I'd go through my large catalog of talking with PBs. Oh no, I deleted all of them, so I couldn't. I don't know. I have a lot of these recorded actually. Well, I say a lot. I have like 3 recorded right now, but I haven't liked any of them to upload. So I decided, hey, you know what? I don't care if it's 2:45 a.m. I'm going to record this and then edit it very, very quickly and then upload it on Wednesday. Tomorrow, today. Today is Wednesday. I'm telling you, daylight savings time has really messed with my time. Like I told you guys, I had a lot of sleeping problems earlier in the year and late last year. Well, I mean, I've had sleeping problems since I started college, so I guess that's not really new for you guys. But what is new for me is that I got into like a really nice routine of falling asleep, getting tired, which is something that didn't happen, like getting tired and wanting to go to bed. Like holy moly. But it started happening, and I got in a really nice routine to get up at 11. Well, get up at 11 to go to school at 12 or 1. And now with daylight savings time, it's all like out of whack. Like I got out of whack like the day it happened. I was like, okay, I'm staying up a little late. It's like 2 a.m. But whatevs. And I was like, all right, good night, parents. I'm gonna go to bed. And they're like, good night. I come back, I look at my phone, it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, what? It doesn't feel like it's 3 a.m. I'm not like 3 a.m. tired. And ever since then, I've just been out of whack. It's really unfortunate. I'm hoping to get back into my zen during spring break. Man, guys, you guys have no idea how good it feels to just not be tired all the time. It feels so good. And I realize it's, one of the symptoms of depression and all of that. And man, you don't remember what it's like to not be tired until you're not tired all the time. And how good it feels just to be able to get in bed and fall asleep. Like that is glorious. These are the things you take it like for granted, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh man, it's wonderful. Just shedding all of these sort of layers that have been like looming over me all these years, and it just feels really, really nice. It's gonna be a real bummer to be super, super stressed again. I mean, I've been stressed about money for like ever. Oh man, and that's probably like my number one stressor. If I didn't have to worry about money constantly, I would, fare well with just the stress of my grades and my performances and all of that. But like, because I can deal with that, that's okay. But the moment, because that's all me, I control all of that. My ability to do things is all on me. And I can accept that and I can take, the brunt of my own, like, anger towards being unable to do something or doing poorly on something. But money, I can't, like, that's not something that's in my control, which really stresses me out. And I wouldn't say I'm a control freak, like, in no way, shape, or form would I say I'm a control freak, nor would anyone I know or have ever known say I'm a control freak. Maybe like for like a hot second my senior year when I was an assistant section leader, but then I got um had a quote unquote intervention. Well, I just people talked to me and told me like what was up, and I was like, oh, I hadn't even noticed. I'm so sorry, and I dealt with it. So like for that hot second I was, but like I'm not anymore, and like I've never been. That was, like I said, like a very rare occurrence in my life, but it does stress me out when something is not in my control. Like if I don't know the outcome of something or the potential outcomes of some things, um, like I'm not okay with it. Like even if I have like a steady job with like income, like just seeing like my income being like so low compared to like the giant mountain of debt that I know I have is just so freaking stressful. And then like dealing with my parents and, their whole thing that they're dealing, well, especially back in the day, they were actually, I'd say back in the day, I mean like a couple of years ago, when I was actually at the peak of my stressed outness, in college, and I couldn't deal with anything anymore, was because, they were sort of being sued by credit card companies for being, unable to pay because, um, you know, prices of everything keep going up, and wages are staying, exactly the same. And I mean, my dad gets paid, fairly okay. Gets paid, I think, $12, $14 an hour, and he works, a solid 40-hour week, but it's like it's not enough. And it blows my mind that it's not enough. He works, 40 hours a week. That should be enough, but it's not. And they surmounted a nice amount of credit card debt over, the years of them being, in the United States for what, like 50 years now. So, they were being sued. I mean, it's all dealt with, but like that was really stressful for me. Because here I was at like a hoity-toity private college up in Ohio, um, and they were all stressed out about not being able to give me money, even though I'm like, I don't need your money for anything. Like, don't worry about me. I can handle myself. You guys do you, but obviously they don't understand because, parents. And, so their stressing out was stressing me out, and like their money thing was stressing me out, and then their money thing started to affect me in the fact that actually, I actually got a plus loan in college my freshman year to round out the extra. I think it was like 1,000, 2,000 that I needed to pay out of pocket that I didn't have. Um, and yeah, the government actually took it back. I guess they revoked my loan or something stupid like that, and I found that out um the last, after school ended. It was my week of staying on campus and for waiting for graduation to play because I was in the band and we were required to play. Otherwise, we would fail that semester of band. So I did that, which I mean was fine. It was fun because I got to hang out with my friends who were seniors who were graduating, and I would probably never see again or talk to again. So it was a good time. But oh yeah, I went to the financial aid office because they had been bothering me. But apparently, all all college offices end their hours end at like 3 p.m. and I didn't get out of class until like 4. So, and my entire day was booked, so I never got a chance to go to the financial aid offices because they were closed on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, which were, the days I would have large gaps in my schedule. But whatever. So I finally went, and they were like, "Yeah, you just need to pay these 2,000 because your plus loan from, back in the day was rejected." And I'm like, "Isn't there like a contract or something that I signed that made sure stuff like this wouldn't happen?" And they're like, "Lol, government." And I was like, "God damn it," because I was getting a loan to pay for a flute that I was being really stressed out about because since, I started my freshman year of college, my teacher was telling me my lessons teacher was telling me I needed a new instrument, I needed a new instrument, and I needed a new instrument, and I needed to pay for a new instrument. And for some reason, just the fact that I couldn't pay for one didn't like register for her or something. Like in her mind, that was impossible. It was impossible for me to be unable to afford a 2K um, flute. And I was just like, I can't. And she's like, well, lol. And so finally, at the end of my sophomore year, we finally found one. The school bought it for me to get the loan to give it to them. And it was all dealt with by the higher ups, by my advisor and stuff. Um, and then when, time came, I was getting the check from the financial aid office to give to the government, to, the head of my department. and they were like, yeah, no, you need to pay this, and I don't know what you're talking about when you say this loan. And yeah, and for me, that was my last straw. That's actually um, the reason I didn't go back to school in Ohio, because I was too stressed out about the money. I was too stressed out, and financial aid was not helping me to the best of their ability. They were stressing me out more than anything else. I was getting constant calls from them, and like when everything should have been dealt with, like I looked at the numbers, I got like outside loans, I got everything, like everything was done with. Had everything paid, with scholarships, with government loans, with grants, and all of that, and still they were just like, we need more money, and it's gonna cost more, and here's give me more money for like a mediocre experience at college, and a mediocre education, and a mediocre like food plan, and like all of this, and I was just like, I can't, like, for everything you're giving me, I could get a much better experience in a state school, with way more contacts, with more, like, I would essentially get so much more from going to like a state school that would cost me literally 4 to 10 times less than you're charging me, and I would be close to home and like not stressed out because my parents are stressed out. Because I don't really have a problem being away from my parents from too long. But my parents have an issue with me being away from them, which they're gonna have to learn how to deal with eventually. Because eventually I'm gonna move out and no longer live here. Um, which is, I don't know. Like, if anything, they stress me out way more than anything else in my life stresses me out. Other than money, money just stresses me out in general. Like, oh, it's so dumb. I'm sure it's like the number one stressor of a lot of people. A lot of people are like, money, like all these negative numbers, all these red numbers, these pink slips. Oh man, that's why on my bucket list. Um, a lot of those things I said were pipe dreams for me, because I can't see a time where I'm not gonna be in like so much debt and owing so much money to so many sources, and just like have like a nice experience where I don't have to like worry about it. Like, if I don't have to worry about it, and like everything can get paid and everything works out, like that'll be like a dream for me. That's like the dream. Like, if I can just pay everything, pay all my bills, pay, everything off, and still be able to like have a roof over my head and some food, like, dream. But pipe dreams, guys, pipe dreams. So actually, I've been working on a new logo, because right now my logo for everything is just my old character, my old skin, sitting down with a light blue background. And so I've been working on something a little more, um how do I, like, something a little bit more iconic, I guess, something that you can like um identify with me and not be just purely Minecraft, because although I do I do Minecraft a lot, I do other things too. I just don't do it very often because that takes a lot of time. Well, it doesn't take a lot of time, it's the rendering that takes a lot of time. But now that I'm only doing like 3 series, I'm doing my Let's Create series, my MHC series, which is by far the easiest to record, minus the intro. And because I have to come up with an original idea for an intro every time, and that's the most difficult part for me. I mean, it's really fun. Like, I had a lot of fun doing the intro for this MHC March 2015, the Zero Chunk Challenge. I had a lot of fun doing that, especially editing it. It took me like probably an hour, maybe two, to edit that entire intro, or just to figure out a way to do it. And a lot more. Probably took me like 2 or 3 hours to actually record it all, or like to come up with the idea and record it. And so I'd say about round about 5 hours from start to finish for that intro. and I was just lucky enough to be able to find a song that would work. I've actually used that song before. Um, I think it's Chiptune. Chiptune Does Dubstep is the song I used for it by Technoax. At youtube.com/Technoax. It is Teknoaxe, I believe. And I think I actually used a new version. He's remastering a lot of his old stuff now, along with putting out new content. And I actually, I not. It took me a long. First, it didn't. It took me a little bit of while. It took me a little while to find a song I liked for the intro, and then I had both the Chiptune Does Dubstep and the Chiptune Does Dubstep Remastered, and I actually edited both of those in, and I was just muting one line and having one of them play, and then I would unmute the one I muted and mute the one that was playing, and see which one of the two I liked the best with the timing, because actually I didn't time any of the cuts um, to the music. The music was literally the last thing I did. I put that in last minute, and all I really did was like cut it in, make sure it fits, and I made the dB lower, and pretty much I just lowered the volume because they're always really loud compared to my microphone and how loud I speak into it. So yeah, so that was really fun. I really need to get in on making thumbnails. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm going to do it over spring break along with this new logo. I really like the logo I have. Well, the one I've made and the concept, but I made the dire mistake, and I thought about this while I was doing it too. I was like, I should probably because I use Paint. What is it? Paint.net? Yeah, Paint.net. The free, like it's like Paint, but like way more advanced. But not like super advanced. It's like for people like me who know nothing about Photoshop and all of that and don't own like fancy programs. Paint.net lets you do layering and stuff like that, and it's usually what I do my thumbnails with, the more recent ones if I have any. But while I was doing it, I was like, I should probably not be doing this on a white background. I should probably be doing this on a transparent background so I could change the background. But I'm like, nah, this is just a prototype. I'm like, I'm not really gonna like use it. And then I made it and I really, really liked it. And I was like, oh, and it would be like theoretically I could go through it and erase all the pixels that aren't being in use. But I think I'm sort of debating like which one would take longer, to erase all the pixels or to all the like white pixels, or to just redo it. I'm in that sort of limbo. And also sort of if I want to what else I want to do with it. I don't know if I cuz it looks sort of like a company logo right now. Um and I don't know if I'm down with that. Like I sort of want a modern looking logo, but I don't know how to do that. I'm just like, God, this is the point in time I wish I had graphic designing friends so I could be like, make something cool with this concept. Because I came up with the concept, I had a rough sketch on my idea pad, and or it's my idea book, I guess. Technically it's a book, but I think it's like a sketch journal book thing. It has like no lines on it, like a sketchbook, but it's a book. It doesn't like flip up. It's like a book. It's side to side. You flip the pages side to side instead of up and down like you would do a normal sketchbook. Or like a sketch pad, I guess. I guess that's a difference. One's a pad, one's a book. But and then I got on Paint and Paint.net, and the program was a lot easier to use and to work out circles and my concept. And I was able to actually make my concept work and make it look cool while still having the PB, stand out. So that's the struggle bus I'm riding right now. And then also like if I want to put it over over something. Like if when I make it transparent, if I want to put it over something, like over a background with color, I don't know. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and then I can deal with making thumbnails, which I think I'm just gonna do like an oh, what is it called? Oh, like a cover, like how the cool kids do it essentially, where they use a like a screenshot as the background picture, and then they have like an overlay saying, this series episode this. I want to do one of those because if you guys haven't noticed, in my Let's Create series, I don't number my episodes. I sort of just tell you what's gonna happen in those episodes, and I need to, and I just passed 10. Maybe I'm at 9, 10, or 11. I don't know. I actually lost counts in my backlog because I doubled one and I skipped one, and like I messed up the numbering system somehow. So so I really want to get on it to make the numbers. I don't know. I really, the number one issue I'm having is fonts. I just don't know how to do like what fonts I want to use. Like I want to use like a modern slanted like the flavor of the month, the slanted font. That might have been the thing that took me the longest time actually, just going through the fonts that paint.net offered to try and figure out which one I wanted to do. I actually do a lot of it. I do a lot of like background messing around with paint.net and getting better. Like my Borderlands in my Borderlands series, which is at a hiatus right now. I still have all the footage. I'm just like debating whether or not I want to edit it all down and yeah, I want to edit it down and just take out the pauses and stuff because I I have a lot of episodes pre-recorded, and there's just a lot of lull in between a lot of the earlier episodes. So I don't know. I really need to work on it because it's a thing I want to bring back. It just depends how I'm going to bring it back. And so right now, what I'm doing with I had been doing with Borderlands is just uploading it as is, like I do MHC and stuff. But I think I want to edit it down, and that one's gonna be. It's it's an initial process because you have to watch the entire footage, and that's what takes the longest time. Which is why my Let's Create series takes a long time to record and edit because that's I don't sit down one take and do it all. And then I ramble a lot. Which is why I'm a little sad that I can't edit MHC because there's just a lot of times I'm just talking and I'm not making too much sense because I'm just talking. Like words are just coming out of my mouth to have something happening. It's just like oh, I can't tell that story. That is not a PG story. If I were to make an adult one of these, I'll tell you that story. I say that sounds so wrong. If I ever make like a version of this where it is all chips are on the table, I'll tell you that story. I have a lot of those stories. I have a couple of really funny stories. I mean, they were terribly awkward for me and just like sort of the word that comes to mind is horroroso, which is like a horror. Or just like just terrible and horrible at the same time. Oh man, I have a lot of them. It's funny now in retrospect, but like at the moment I was just like I don't even know how to react to the situation right now, so I'm just going to go with like my first instinct and go. And you know what, guys? Sometimes your first instinct not the smartest, not the first thing you should go with. Oh man, sometimes it gives the wrong impression. Uh, to be young. I say that like I'm not just. I keep wanting to say I'm 21 because I am 21, but in like a month I'm going to be turning 22. So in my mind, I'm already trying to like hype myself up to say 22 and not 21 again, because I have this thing where I forget what age I am. I went through, I went to school in Ohio, obviously. So when I was whenever I would, because if you guys haven't been to the airports in like the past what 10, 20 years now, 10 years, 10, 11, 13, 12, 14, the past 14 years, things are a lot more stricter, and when you go and stuff, whatever, you guys understand. But if you go to the airport, and before you go through your baggage check or whatever for your carry-ons and yourself before you get into the actual terminal, they give you you have to like give them your ID and the ticket or whatever so they can be like, okay, that's you. And they well, sometimes they ask you questions. And one time the guy asked me how old are you? And I sat there and I looked at him for like a solid like 3 seconds until I was like, how old am I? Because I looked at him and I was like, in my head I was like, how old am I? And I was just like, and I started to say 18, but it was really 19. I was like, 19. I'm 19. Man, because I have a lot of trouble just like keeping track. Like after a point, I just don't care anymore. Like at 21, like I don't care anymore. Like the only thing I can do now, I have to wait for is not having a ridiculously high premium if I want to rent a car. Like that's it. Otherwise, I'm pretty good with age restrictions. Everything else is now like credit. It's like, how's your credit? It's terrible. Thanks for asking. Oh man. But yeah. So I'm trying to like hype myself up to like say 22. I'm like, okay, me, you're gonna say 22. You're gonna say 22 when people ask you, which I'm doing like the antithesis of what I used to do, and just not think about it until I turned it, and then just completely forget what age I was for an entire year, or like see the wrong age. I've said the wrong age like pretty much every time someone asks me my age, except age 20. Age 20 came and went, and it was a very uneventful year. Oh, it was a year I had a lot of problems. It was a year of problems. And then 21 was, chilling out, calming down. Everything was going to be okay. Then everything was okay, and then, April came. Actually, April's a really bad year. It's a really bad month. I don't know why. It's just I don't know. A lot of bad things have always happened. When I was born, literally the day I was born, April 18th, 1993, you could look it up. Um, a very famous actor and personality in the Latin American world and especially Mexico. I don't remember his name. I think it's Cantinflas. I don't know. Pedro Cantinflas? Pedrito. Pedro Cantinflas. I don't know. I don't remember his name. But he died the morning of the day I was born, and I was born at night. and uh, and so my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I'm never gonna forget like when he died," and I'm just like, "Great, great." It's a great association. And then my grandfather died in early April. Like Selena died in April. Selena, the singer, the one with the movie that started J. No, computer, I don't want you to restart. The one with J Lo. Um, yeah. And just like a lot of terrible things have happened in April, and I think that like has got into me on a subconscious level because my Aprils are always very depressing. Um, which is very unfortunate for me because that's my birthday is like halfway in the month, and like my mom wants me to be like all cheerful, and like April, I don't know, whatever. Hopefully this April will break it. Hopefully I'll be good this April. Um, I was a little bit better last April, but I mean it was just a rough time during those first 3 years. Let's see what else. A lot of hullabaloo has been happening on Twitter. other than the dress thing, which I desperately want to be able to see the white in the blue and black dress. I desperately want to see the white. I can see the gold. Like I can see how someone would see gold, and I can sort of make myself see gold, but I see gold black. Like I don't like I recognize it's black with, gold color. I don't see the white. And I desperately would love to see white because I want to see the white and gold. I want to see the white and gold. I've seen like exposed pictures of the dress that make it look white and white and gold and stuff like that. But I want to like see the original picture and see the blue with white. Like I so desperately want that. I love being able to do that with optical illusions. Just change it with my mind. And I can't like I haven't even seen the dress in white and gold. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, 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 I saw, blue and black and now and then, one time it switched to white and gold and now it's back to blue and black." Like it's never happened to me and I desperately would love for it to happen. Just so I can see it. Like it's something I would love to experience. That's sort of mindfuck, but today it's the lawsuit against Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams about blurred lines went through and Marvin Gaye's family won. And I've listened to the song. It's like, got it, got, got it, got it. I don't remember. It's like got it something, got it, have it. I don't know. I listened to it earlier today. It's like an 11-minute song. And I can sort of hear the comparison between the two, but it's not like super like it's not a direct ripoff. It's not like super freaking like um Hammer Time. It's not like that. Or like any of those other songs that are like direct ripoffs and like you can literally hear like a Bittersweet Symphony was what a U2 song or something like that, the Who somebody song. Um and it's like I don't know, like I get it. Sort of. I can sort of hear it, but it's an 11-minute song, guys. There's a lot of things that happen in those 11 minutes, and it's all very predictable chord progressions and a cool beat with a nice cowbell, which I'm sure Will Ferrell would really appreciate, and like it's a cool groove, and it's the same sort of tempo and groove feel of blurred lines. I would love to have sat in the courts and listened to those musicologists try and rationalize um, to the jurors and the lawyers how Marvin Gaye's song and Blurred Lines are exactly, are alike enough for there to be a lawsuit. I would love to hear that defense because I don't think what what how do you know this? What? How do you know this? How do you know this? How do you know I'm friends with her? How did you know this? Okay, you guys aren't hearing, I don't know why I'm really incredulous about this, but I just got an email from Google Plus. I don't use Google Plus, but obviously you have to have it because Google. And on my personal Google, the only one I think I have a G Plus account that I actually set up a little bit. Um, I have a friend on here that I met in college, and I have her on Facebook, and I have her on Spotify, but none of those are this email. And I don't know how Google knew that I knew her and why they're suggesting her because none of my friends, like, no one else knows her. Like, she is the only person, I think there are only two people from that class I friended on Facebook. And one of them I never talked to, and her I also never talked to, but we like each other's posts on Facebook every once in a while. How do you know that? It's sort of scary. But a little useful because I never use Google Plus, but if I were to, I would add you, Cassie. I would add you. Oh, the same. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to hear the rationalization that those musicologists made about Blurred Lines and Marvin Gaye's song. I'll love to hear it because I don't hear enough substance in Marvin Gaye's song to compare it to Blurred Lines um, and have it match up. Like there are sections, but there are like really predictable chord progressions that all songs nowadays use that you could say. And I mean the beats, but the beat is also like it's not generic, but it's like the feel of that time period. Like the reason I like Blurred Lines for like 2 seconds before I actually listened to the lyrics was because it had that sort of old school beat to it. It had instruments that you in being played in ways you didn't really play them and stuff like that. Um, Nowadays, at least, back in the day they used to. So I don't know. It's very odd. Also, the one I'm actually really excited about is that apparently Tron 3 is not officially announced, but it appears they're finally going to actually start filming it. Now, I'm a really big fan of Tron Legacy, which is the second iteration of Tron. I've never actually watched the first Tron. I probably should because a lot of things would probably make a little bit more sense. But I'm a really big fan of Tron Legacy, and I've watched all the extras, and I own the movie. I own a digital download of the movie, I guess I should say. And I've watched all the extras and all the extra content that they've put out, and like little shorts that they put out, teasing Tron 3 like 2 years ago, and like I really, really, really want Tron 3 to be really good because I love the aesthetic of Tron 2. I love the aesthetic. The story was mediocre, but it was really cool. It was a really cool sci-fi world, and like I really appreciated that they sort of built up the world and didn't like screw with it. Like a lot of like things like that, a lot of sci-fi stuff, a lot of world building, new world things are built, and then they're completely shit on immediately. And I mean, obviously, the grid wasn't perfect after Clue and stuff, but I love that there was a lore and a backstory that wasn't like completely screwed over. They kept it simple, nice and simple, and I understand a lot of people didn't like that, but I really enjoy that they kept it simple and it allowed people like me who had no idea what Tron was to jump into the series and totally fall in love with it. And I did. I've been on a search for probably like the past 2-3 years for a Tron inspired texture pack that's good. And there's a few out there, but none that are good and none that are up to date. So I'm hoping now with this Tron 3 announcement, well, rumor announcement, that there's going to be some nice ones, some nice like high texture, high res texture packs with some really cool aesthetics. Now that there's a lot more you can do with resource packs, I really want it so badly. I really, in my mind, I really want to build like an apocalyptic world, like in the future, like way in the future, like something apocalyptic happened and a totally new technological, society was built up. And so, like, in between all these high tech, high society, awesome cities, are like absolute wastelands and are absolutely terrible, which is totally possible, like, you can do now with the new customizable seeds and worlds you can make with messing with all of these settings in, if you want to do that in Minecraft, you can totally do that now, and you don't have to like consult MC Edit or anything like that or World Edit. And I've tried it out, and I had a cool thing going, and it's totally doable. I made a couple of worlds that I really, really enjoyed, and it's really cool some of the things that happen that look sort of like ruins without needing, without it looking like it. Because my main thing was like no water. Um, I didn't want any water in the world, or I wanted it to be extremely scarce. I didn't want any oceans and stuff like that, because the bright side of Minecraft is that there's no environmental um, consequence to there not being any oceans. No water cycle really exists in that, nor are there any real animals that greatly impact the environment that live in the ocean and rely on the ocean existing. So uh, that's an aesthetic I really wanted, and I really wanted it to be like Tron inspired. But there was no good Tron thing, so hopefully with this announcement coming out, and also I'm just super excited. I'm really hoping, crossing my fingers, that Olivia Wilde is cast again, and um she's gonna be cast because her character was amazing. Her acting was amazing as this character. I'm just like a huge fan of this entire movie, and I really hope that Tron 3 is amazing and actually happens. There's been a lot of rumors that Tron 3 was gonna start, and like it never started, but now that it's trended, I really hope it does because I really want it to exist. Let's see. Also, this is more of I mean, it's still something current and cool that's happening, but a lot of you guys probably don't know nor really care. There is a channel on YouTube. It is youtube.com/unsolicited project, also known as the Gay Women's Channel. And it is run by two lovely ladies, Allison DiLorendo, Leo Rendo, something like that. And Leonardo, something like that. I'm sorry. And Sarah Rotella, I believe is her last name. And they recently, so they're both, they have this channel, and they do small, they do, weekly skits, including, several of their actor friends, and they themselves are are you know have worked and in the film industry. They've worked making movies and TV shows and all of that stuff, and um, made their own shorts and stuff like that, short films, and worked on all things. So they understand all of that, and they got really popular with the second, one of the viral videos that stemmed off of the original viral video, First Kiss, was it? Or First Hug? Where two strangers, hug each other in that black and white sepia toned room. I think it's First Kiss. I don't really remember. I think it's First Kiss. And so they did so then there was, the sort of parody, or, the continuance where it was First Hug, where two strangers hugged each other. And then they, Allison and Sarah, decided to make another one because they were like, oh, that's cool. How about this? And so they did First Gay Hug, where a proclaimed homophobic person and a open, LGBT person both hugged, and it became viral, and that was their first hit. And they continued making great content. And so recently they started a Kickstarter last Monday, and it was about, well, they announced it. They had been, working on it and getting things happening and writing it and all those things. And they announced it as, Project Gay, and they were, it's a secret project, and they've been working on it for a while. And finally they announced that they were going to be making a feature-length film called Almost Adults. And it is about, I believe it is about two best friends, Cassie and Mackenzie. They are in their final year of college. They're finishing their final year of college, and life is taking them in two different directions, and they have to deal with the fact that they're best friends, and all life is throwing all these things. They want different things, but they've been together for so long as friends, and it's the thing we all deal with, in college, where we get distant from our friends, but we really, we're still really good friends with them. We still love them, but life just isn't taking us in the same direction. And so it's a story about them learning to deal with that. It just happens that, Cassie is straight and Mackenzie is not, and she's figuring out her own sexuality while Cassie is figuring out, other things. And the thing I love about this movie that they're making, or, well, there's a few things I love about this movie. One, they are, it's not a trope movie, because they both hate trope movies. I believe probably every single lesbian hates trope movies. There is no falling in love with a straight best friend, or one of them dies, or an affair with a teacher, an affair with a married woman, nothing like that, none of the tropes. It is a story about two best friends who are in platonic love, who do not fall in love with each other, and are just trying to figure out how to keep each other in each other's lives, and in the loop when life is, doesn't want them to. So other than, being a really great concept, because there's not a lot of college movies, there's not a lot of, oh, this is our last year of college, let's do, and this is what's happening between us as friends. There's a lot of ones about high school and the beginning of college, but there's no, like, end of college movies, really. There's very few. I can't think of one, actually. And so, well, I guess, I mean, technically you could say Legally Blonde, but that has other, other things happening in it that aren't sort of dealing with the fact that you and your best friend are drifting apart. So I love that about it. I also love that the entire cast and crew that they're going to hire is all women. Well, I not cast. Cast, that wouldn't make sense. But the entire crew is going to be women. It's going to be a female producer. It's going to be a female writer, a female director, a female sound lady, a female lighting lady. All of these roles are going to be filled by women working in the film industry, and that's something that doesn't really get exemplified. There's a lot of men that get work in the film industry, but a lot of women don't. So that's one of the things they want to, promote, that that's something that they're doing, and it's great. And it's something that they would like to see more of, as would probably all females in the film industry. So I'm super excited for that. They were asking for 40,000. I believe they met that by the Tuesday, or maybe the Wednesday. It was either the next day or like 2 days afterwards they met that goal. And right now, last time I checked, it was earlier today, probably around 10ish. It was at 64,000 now, so $64,000. So that movie's getting made, and I'm really excited. And it has one of my new favorite up and coming actresses, Elise Bauman. If you guys ever took me up on my offer for you guys to watch Carmilla, the web series based on the J. LaFanu novella, Carmilla, by the same name. Elise Bauman is the actress who plays Alora, the main protagonist and the person you see the most on camera. She is the person actually, doing the vlog, and the one that all these things are happening to. She is Elise Bauman, and I've seen her in, her other web series and stuff, and I think she's a phenomenal actress, and she's, if things work out, in her way, she's gonna go far, because she's a phenomenal actress. So I'm excited to see her on this project. And yeah, I'm very, very excited about this, this week. Tron 3, Almost Adults. Spring break is coming up. Man, I should probably, if you guys have made it this far, all of the episodes you're gonna see next week, including Talking with PB, are going to be pre-recorded, and that is because I'm going on vacation for spring break. I'm hopefully gonna go visit a friend in Austin, and go stay with her for a couple of days and hang out because it's her last year in college in Austin, and she's gonna have her apartment there, so it'll be fun if we get to go. I don't know, it's still sort of tentative planning, as all plans with my friends are. It's all tentative planning. Always has been, probably always will, which is sort of a bummer because I like to not have tentative plans because I have a lot of, responsibilities and a lot of like scheduling I have to do. So I actually have to move around things. If I have to move around things if I want to do things on certain days. So hopefully that happens because I have to move around a couple of things. But if not, I still can't. Well, I could technically upload, but I'm not. I'm gonna take a break, and I don't know what I'll do. Probably write some music or something cool. Work on this logo. Work on the thumbnails. I really need to work on these thumbnails. I'm just lazy. Oh, it's that, and also I don't have any ideas as to how I want to do it. I had an idea, but it didn't really work out. It didn't pan out the way I liked it. And I mean, I do have the limitation that I don't know a lot about design, and I'm really too lazy to like do too like severely intricate things, and I'm too cheap to pay someone to do it. So you guys are getting handmade everything. It's DIY. Yeah, it's DIY YouTube right now. It's just like old school YouTube. Oh man, if you guys have been on YouTube or have watched YouTube videos since like YouTube barely started getting, popular back in like what 2004 to 2006, I'd say are the years. Um oh man, those were some years on YouTube. I almost went on YouTube. I almost started doing YouTube, but my upload speed was absolutely trash. I mean, even more so than it is now. That was like back in the dial-up days, guys. No, 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 no. I was 15 when I got my first laptop. Oh, what year was 2000, was when 15? That was what, 6 years ago? Okay, we'll say 7, because I'm turning 22 this year anyways. So, and I got it for my birthday. So if it was 7 years ago, it is 2015, 2008, so it had to be 2008. And I started watching YouTube before 2008. I almost started posting videos of myself speaking in 2008, but they were on topics you guys probably wouldn't know anything about. So, anyways, I'm really tired. I'm gonna go to bed. This came out. I was really hoping me being tired would make this shorter. My plan was to make this shorter, but I guess I'm making it up for you guys because I'm not gonna be here next week. Even though it's going to be pre-recorded, I am probably very seldomly going to check my comments and such and reply to them. But I will reliably reply to all comments at the end of in 2 weeks. Not this upcoming Monday, but the Monday after that. I will for sure be free to start reading all your comments and messages and stuff, which is just in time for the last 3. Yeah, so I just recorded 3 MHCs today, and that means I'm gonna have 3 MHCs left in March. Anyways, rambling. My question of the day for you guys is, what was your favorite gaming system, or what is your favorite gaming system? Not including PC. We're taking out PC. Okay, we'll take out modern PC. If you played PC games back in the day, back in like the Hitchhiker's Guide days and the early Doom days, like I give you up until original Doom and like original Diablo. Those were that's the era of computer that I want you to stop thinking of. If you guys played any of that or like any of the flight simulator games, that's where we're stopping. The technology of the computer and below. So what was your favorite console or gaming system? For me, it was my Game Boy Color. I own a Game Boy Color. It is pink, Even though I really hated it because I didn't want the pink color, but it was the only one the pawn shop had. And it came with a deal, like you got 3 games or something, and I did. My favorite game actually is oh, what is it called? Super Mario Land? Yeah, Super Mario Land, where you save Daisy instead of Princess Peach, which is why I was really, really confused when people were like, Princess Peach, and I'm like, it's Daisy. I just spent like 5 years of my life playing this game. How are you telling me it's not her? And it's surprising. I've played it today, and I remember so much. I remember a lot about that game that I probably shouldn't, but I do. The Game Boy Color was my favorite thing, and followed up very closely by the Game Boy SP, just because they were sort of around the same time for me, and I could play my Game Boy Color games on my SP, just with them jutting out awkwardly. I'm not a fan of the DS age. I don't know, something about just like the advanced technology does not like get me. And like I'm not getting really any of this nostalgia. I really enjoyed like old school Mario and platformers. I guess that's where my love for platformers came from. But my favorite gaming console console console. Jesus, console is Game Boy Color. So tell me down below in the comments. I'm sorry I sound really tired. I am. It is like about to be 4 a.m. I have school. I have to get up at 11. Which I mean, I guess I still have plenty of time, but I'm doing nothing for my sleeping schedule. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!